Hey guys, it's Art again with the BluesBreaker Build Part 2 video. I soldered all the lead wires onto the board, to the main board and to the tremolo part of the board. I'm almost done, but I left out two wires, one here and one here, that go to the preamp, which is over here. I left these two wires. I'm gonna do these right now. I left them last so I could show you guys how I do it, as far as how to add the lead wires. There's two school of thoughts. One way is to do it the way I'm doing it, which is you get the wire and you prep it like this, if you will, if you could see that. But I don't add any solder here at all. I don't pre-tin it, if you will, or pre-solder it. I just kind of flake it out or flare it out and then twist it, right? Well, one way is to run the wire, like in other words, you solder over here, the component you're going for, and then you go through the hole, and then you bend it and you solder it. I don't like doing it that way because when this section here gets hot, it melts away and it separates from the wire. So I don't like doing it that way. So what I like to do is I pre-measure it. I have an idea that it goes here. This wire is going to run all the way across. I have enough length to to twist a little bit with the second wire that I'm going to do down here. So as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and hopefully you guys can see this on the video. But I get the wire right where I want it, just like this. I run it down here to keep it straight. And I use one of these clips here they sell at Home Depot to keep the wire right down there next to that turret where I want it. And then I bend this wire right here this way, right? And then I get some assistance using one of these Husky type needle nose that has no knurled finisher. It's smooth. So what I do is I crimp it onto the turret. I already soldered one of the leads here for the plates of V1, but now what I want to do is I want to lower it as much as I could, as low as possible on this turret, and then I'm going to crimp it, twisting the wire, creating a loop or hugging the turret, if you will. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I already had soldered this white wire here that goes down here for the plates, the 100K resistors. So this white wire here already has been soldered and it has solder on there. So I'm not going to need that much. All I have to do is make sure they bond together. And a good way of starting out is add a little bit of solder here. Get the wire hot. And while the wire gets hot, the solder that's already on there is going to get melted, and the solder that's already on there is from the white wire. Alright, I'm there. So I make sure I create a good bond. What I do is I wrap the turret to create a mechanical bond connection, and then I solder it. And I always make sure that I'm on there with a magnifying glass. And so I do that, and then I grab the wire, especially in a section where I already soldered one time, which is a little sketchy. So I just make sure that I'm on there, and I am. Okay, so that's one wire that's going down here. I need some more red wire, which is here. Then I have to run this wire from the bottom one. It goes down, then I'm going to join them together here, then it's going to run this way. So then I'll just kind of do the same thing. I'll cut it. This is 20 gauge wire, by the way. And I take a little bit over a quarter. Hope you can see this. And then you kind of flare it out like this. Kind of like that. I go like this. And then you twist it. You twist it like that. right? And then you create a so when you bend it, when you bend the wire or you make a little loop, if you will, it kind of ends up like that. Okay, so now I got to do this side, right here, and this goes to your to the plate resistors, the 82K. This white wire, it goes right here. There's going to be a 10K resistor running across where I made the two connections, and then this white wire goes down to where you have the 82 and the 100K plate resistors for V3, and then it goes down this way to your phase inverter wire, which is right here, this blue wire right here. And this wire runs all the way down. Actually, it's not for your phase inverter, I'm sorry, it goes to your tremolo tube that's down there. So anyways, I'm not sure if you could see that. I'm gonna try to zoom in and arrange the camera. Okay, so what I'm gonna first do is secure this wire. Sorry, my hands are very dry right now. So I do that, get as close as possible, put this down here, and then twist the wire, get my needle nose, and I twist it all the way as much as I could. Right? And like I said earlier, there's already a wire down here that's been soldered. So I could do it two ways. I could add solder to it like I did on the first one, and then just press it as it's hot onto the first connection I did. So it all depends. I'm gonna add solder and I'm gonna try to press it to bond it real close. So now it's on there. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have to adjust this camera as much as I could. So I'm going here. Okay. Right there on this white wire and the red wire. So now it's on there. I'm going to pre-tin the tip, or add some solder to it, because by doing that you're going to get the components or the wires hotter quicker, right? And I'm adding it to the wire and to the turret board, to the turret. Alright, I want to try something different now, so I'm just going to heat it up and then press it together. God, that didn't work, sorry. But I could still make it work. All I gotta do is heat it up again. Double check my work. Okay, it worked. It didn't come out as neat as I wanted to, but I don't like the color of the solder, how it looks. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a little bit more solder to touch up what happened here. Okay, so anyways, that's done. And oops, a little too much. So that's done. Now these two red wires go to the preamp. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna zoom out and I'm gonna show you guys the board, and I'm gonna run the wires through. And there's a lot of things you could do to make them look neat, if you will. So So anyway, starting from the beginning here, here's my ground wire that I'm grounding, my black wire, excuse me. I'm grounding the cathode of V1. The V1 tube is going to be shared cathode, which that's how it was on a BluesBreaker and some JMPs from '67 and so forth. So anyways, as you can see, here's the very first one. Just run it through and it looks good. There's no separation from the wire and the lead wire that's inside, because the way I do it, if I run the wire through first and then make that mechanical connection and then add solder, and if I get it just a little too hot, again the wire will separate from the PVC here and it doesn't look good. It looks pretty cheesy, if you will. Here's my cathode wire that I'm gonna cut a lot of PVC off to make it split and jump from 2 to 7 on the V1 tube. So I know this part is a little bit boring for you guys, and but I'm just documenting one technique and how to do it. And the only downfall of doing it this way is that when you run the wire through these 3mm holes that I drilled, you scrape the PVC down here, and I don't know, if you want to be anal, you know, you can make the holes bigger if you want, but as of right now, this is okay. Then this is my I'm sorry, I said 2 and 7 here. I meant 3 and 8 for the cathode, for the very first one. We're just gonna take a 820 ohm resistor with a bypass capacitor of 220 or 330. I can't remember which one I'm gonna use. It's here somewhere. But now I'm running the grid wire. Sorry, let me remember that. Do you guys want to see this? This is the grid wire that goes from this goes to 2, and you have the 68K resistors right here. This brown one is to my my normal channel, if you will, volume pot. And here's where one of the, you guys see how that looks crooked right there? I could do it that way, or I could just turn this turret all the way, but I kind of got it straight because I pushed it, so it's okay. So here's for my plates. I'll do the second. I'm gonna do the other grid resistor wires that go to the input jacks of the amp. So that's why they're short. And you're just trying to push this wire through as best as possible and aligning it to look straight, because if it doesn't look straight, it looks pretty cheesy. And when I just started building amps like 10 years ago, my craftsmanship, if you will, wasn't that great, and but the amps worked fine. You know, and a lot of guys don't care what the amp looks like, but if you can build an amp that looks good and sounds good, well then you're 2 steps ahead, I guess, from other people. But the board that I have now, it's the chocolate type board they call. A lot of guys, I'm gonna come back a little bit. There's a lot of guys that are looking for these boards right now, and I have plenty of them, but I'm unable to upload pictures to show them what they look like in this forum that I'm in. So I mean, I'm not gonna sweat it because I'm not in no hurry of selling anything, and it's not like I need the money or starting a business. This is just a hobby for me, and it's good for stress relief, if you will. And I'm not looking to again start a business selling boards. But all these turrets that I have here, I have the regular type turrets. I hope you can see that. Let me see, remove some light there. Does that help a little bit? I don't know. But anyways, there's 2 types. There's this type here, and then there's a split turret that look like little castle tops, if you will, because they're split. And see how you have this brown wire here that goes to your 0.022 UF wire. the second wire goes to your mixer resistors. Am I right? Yeah, goes to your mixer resistors because for the 2 channels mix. This white wire and this wire goes to your volume pot, the high treble. This goes to the other side of the high treble, but here's where the other 47K resistors are going to go. So anyways, yeah, I have 2 types. I'm going to build a JTM50, you know, with the GZ34 type of rectifier, and I'm going to use the split type. Maybe I have a lighter type board that looks almost rust that I might use. Okay, here's my grounding wire, and this ground wire goes to this grounding wire is going to be for the cathode of V2. You know where your 8 ohm resistor or your 100 ohm resistor goes, if I remember correctly, the 820 and the 100K. Alright, so that's there. And again, see how it looks kind of to the side? So I just kind of move it this way. And it's all how you solder it too. If you leave a little bit of lead space between the turret and where the wire ends, you have enough slack, if you will, to bend the wire back this way and make it look, you know, neater, if you will. So now I'm going to come back down here and start doing the plates, which are the 100K ones that go to V. They go to V1. V2 does not have any plate resistors. See, it's a little bit to the side. I'll fix it in a second. And you know, as soon as this is all done, it looks a lot better. I mean, it looks like crap right now, if you will. But as soon as you get all these wires through and you set the board back into the chassis, you'll start seeing your amp come alive, if you will. And it looks a lot nicer. You're kind of more proud of what you're doing, and more it's kind of a step forward. Kind of motivates you to, I guess, work faster or more work more cautious in making the thing look nice. More anal, some people call. But anyways, I know this is boring. I'm halfway done. I might stop the video and then start it back up when I'm done. But that's why I'm talking to you guys about things on the amp, and that way I don't bore you to death. So anyways, here's my 2 grid. Here's my 2 grid resistors. The 68K are gonna go here. They're in green. Here's the other one, and this is my my mixer resistor section here. These are the plates, right? This section here that goes straight across is where the 0.022 capacitors are gonna go. Same thing here, and the 100K are gonna go right here. Okay. So far it's looking nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it, and when I'm done with it, I'll show it to you guys.